Hey everybody, welcome. I am Monstrous Rage, Fitz of Rage. We had a little malfunction at the start of cast, so I thought I would do this intro in my spectacular form. Yes, we had OniiChan Games join us for the podcast this week, and it's quite an interesting little conversation that we had with them. So guys, I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Let's see it. Now.
Honestly, this is the first thing that we've done that started this big and it's gone down to this big. So we thought, okay, well, what's the next thing? Well, board game. So let's take that story and turn it into a board game. Something we thought was manageable. Let's get into the board game industry that we know nothing about, which that's always a good plan. We developed this board game over about a 6 or 8 month period. Built it, called it Stony Point. Welcome to Stony Point. It's about, again, that island, that story. And we said, okay, if we're going to build a board game, let's get to know everything we know about, or everything we can about board games and that industry. We started talking to some folks, and they said, well, board games are great, but they're very expensive to produce. Why don't you try a card game? So, okay, let's try a card game. In the meantime, we had gone ahead and racked up a couple of shows to go to show off our magnificent board game that had 1 million pieces and 2 boards, and all of this crap that we wouldn't be able to pay for. And we said, okay, well, we're going to the show in a week. We talked to a guy here locally and just trying to get some tips from him. He said, hey, these card games, they're quick and easy to produce. If you get good content, you can get them done locally, get that kind of stuff going. And so we had about 6 days until we were supposed to go to the show and show off our giant game, and that everybody was going to love, and we were going to be right up there with Tolkien or somebody like that. We decided let's build a quick and easy card game. So we built our first card game, and we called it Tweaker. It was about building your meth lab empire.
That's awesome.
And we took it with us. It was a big little stack of cards that I printed off on a color printer I've got, and it was just, it was quick and dirty, and we took it with us. So we rented 2 booths because why wouldn't we? And we set up banners and all these tables and all this stuff. I mean, you would not believe how much stuff we had. We had all these things printed and anyway, we set it up, and we were ready to tell the world about our board game and get instantly rich and famous. And all people wanted to do was play this stupid card game that we made in 6 days. So we said, okay, well, maybe this is a blessing in disguise kind of thing. Let's go back and tweak this thing. No pun intended, and get it ready and see what we can do with it. So that's what set us down the road of making card games, and that's where we're at right now. The board game will make its comeback at some point, but right now it is on mini back burners while we hopefully develop what we've got in hand. Is that a long enough explanation for you?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Sky, why did you get involved in this?
Yeah. He made me do it.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I don't know. I've known Mike for about 8 years or so.
Yeah, about 8 years.
8 or 9 years, and he just, we've been neighbors and friends for a while, and he was like, "Hey, I know you like to play games. Why don't you come up here? We've made some games and want you to play test them with us." So I started play testing them, and he asked me, opinions about, what do you think about that? And how would you change the rules?
Did you play the board game?
No, you guys never let me. You've kept it pretty secret.
Except for those thousands of people we showed it to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, so he just asked me to kind of get involved and just kind of talk. I've been playing games for a long time, and he said, I know you've been playing games for a long time. Why don't you come and, see how these rules work, or do you understand these rules, or do you start flowing? Do they flow? And I just kind of started playing them, and then I just kind of gave some ideas, and then I approached him. I was like, hey, I've got an idea that I've had in my head for, several years now. And he was like, well, what is it? And I kind of showed him, and he's like, that's fantastic. Let's do it. So he encouraged me to do that. Yeah. And, they're just going to add that to the OniiChan, Games little list of things there. So there we go.
Okay, I have another question for the both of you. Now, obviously, you didn't just say out of the blue, I want to make board games, I want to make card games. There were influences in your life from, your childhood to now. My question for both of you is, what direction brought you to this point? Obviously, we went into detail of how the cards evolved from the board games and from the movies and that sort of thing, but what was your childhood influences that drew you to this sort of industry?
Well, I'm probably 20 years older than all of you, but I played a ton of games when I was a kid, and I'm talking video games. I was never a real big board gamer, card gamer, or anything like that. I played Monopoly and flipped the board a couple of times with my parents, but that was, that's the extent of it. I played Burger Time, I played Donkey Kong, all of that stuff. I had a Commodore 64, was my first computer. So that shows you age, know.
It shows age. We're pretty close there.
Yeah, I was notching, the discs so I could flip them, and all of that, and use both sides of the disc. And then I had a Coleco Atom. Do you remember the Atom?
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Yeah, we're dating people right now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we thought we'd turn this in on all.
Yeah, I know Atari 2600 was really the start for me.
Oh.
That was the start.
That stuff's always been in my life.
Yeah.
At this point, after I had a couple of kids and things like that, I was to the point where I was playing sports games, and that was about it because that's all I had time for.
Yep.
So when you talk about influences, we're talking about 80s movies, 80s and 90s video games, and a good, healthy helping of anything that came on the BBC. So pretty much it. Yeah. And then my dad beat me a lot, so that was good too.
I will say you're drawing from a lot of content, though. There was a lot of good and really trashy stuff over those 2 decades.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if you could see the room we're in and what my wife lets me get away with, you would understand. She often tells me that the room looks like my brain exploded in here. So it's homage to everything crap.
Yeah, I can't say anything. Now, you guys at home can't see this, but they can see exactly what I'm working with here. So, there's a lot of junk. There's a lot of junk.
If I turned this camera, it's something. Yeah, the walls are black. I painted the whole room black, and I've got my arcade machine that I built. I've got a big MAME arcade machine, so that tells you, the kind of games I'm into and stuff. That's my influences. Yeah.
What about you, Sky? What about you? I know you're going science, right? So I know there's science involved in this.
Yeah, I was the typical kid, grew up on, Monopoly, Life, Risk, those games. When I got into high school, middle school and high school, though, I started playing Magic the Gathering. And played that through college, and it actually paid for my rent several times. I would get cards and sell them to little kiddies and jack up the price. And so I was real into card games. I was terrible, man.
He was a kiddie peddler.
he was a pusher, folks. He was a pusher.
Magic tournaments in Austin when I was at UT was kids would give me, I'll give you $1 for that. Sold. It's worth 10 cents.
I got your magic.
Yeah. I would just do that, and so I got playing Magic the Gathering. So that was kind of where my card game influence is. So I have a lot of my ideas come from the basic concepts of Magic and Pokemon, and stuff like that. But of course, video games is the biggest influence, and I'm a big sci-fi fantasy guy. So everything I do, everything I think about is either sci-fi related or fantasy related.
Right.
So so that's kind of my influences, and then started doing it with these guys, and they've just watching them, they've kind of encouraged me to open up a little bit and be
that way.
Be okay with my weird self, and so.
Well, yeah. I'm going to say this before we continue. Folks that are watching, if you have any questions for these two guys, feel free to put it in chat. I am watching it. I know Fitz is watching it because I'm seeing him replying to all of you. So Fitz can relay these questions, these genius questions you've got. Guys, make them genius, not stupid.
Offer also, I mean, any dating advice or financial help that you need, we're here for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, if you need quotes on future endeavors, we got you
absolutely.
covered.
Pork belly, futures, whatever you need.
How long have you been married for dating advice?
Time.
If he doesn't want to give the answer, it's long. Long.
3
Married guy on dating advice. Is there something going on?
No. I'm willing to give it to anybody else, just not myself.
Well, guys, I do have Grommets and Hooks up on the page. Would you like to dive into that game that you started with? I mean, you didn't start with that. You started with Tweaker, but we can go into Grommets and Hooks. I feel like it'd be the one that's I guess not necessarily the quickest, but it's one that you can play consistently over and over and over again.
It's definitely quick. I will tell you this, that it's the most ridiculous game you'll ever play. It is...
my 11-year-old will play it for hours, and he starts doing this after a while if he can't play it. So
it's crack for 11-year-olds. How about that? So Grommets and Hooks, it's literally just a game. What's the no whammies? Press your luck.
RNG.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
54 card deck, right? And we envision this as something that sits on a bar top between two guys who are drinking, and you play it until somebody gets pissed and hits the other one. So
it encourages violence, folks. Excellent.
Yeah. Very subtle.
And you will rage. I promise you will rage. You'll get so mad.
Most people sit down and they go, "Oh, this is stupid," and then by the end of it, they're sweating and panting and things. So, Grommets and Hooks, very simple. If you don't know what a grommet is, go look on your shower curtain. All those little eyes, those are grommets. Yeah. So the deal is, I've got my Grommets and Hooks here. I'm going to draw as many grommets as I can until I feel safe. I feel safe at about 3, right? So I've got 3 grommets sitting here in front of me. Jeremy's going to draw grommets. He's got to draw at least 4 to beat me. He drew a hook, so screw him. He loses. That is it. Seriously, that's the entire. And 50 of those are grommets. 4 of those are hooks. And according to your shuffle, somebody's getting screwed. So it's you don't want that.
And so what happens when? Sir, when you were saying I see on the website people are making their own rules for these games.
Yeah. We encourage that.
Yes.
And here's the thing, we didn't know what kind of world we were getting into when we were getting into these games. These people are serious, man. They don't take any shit about their games, and so
they're vicious.
When you introduce something that easy or that simple, they lose their freaking minds. And so we encouraged them, hey, if you don't like it, come up with your own rules. And we've had a few guys come up with some things, and we're going to start posting those. I like to think of it as crowdsourced rules.
It's very intelligent way to go with the game, though, because it is so simplistic. But yeah, you could definitely see this you're saying in a bar setting, but I'm even thinking like college and university dorms, all that sort of thing. Like you got plenty of clientele that can.
Absolutely. First one to a hook has to take a shot or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stuff.
And my buddies have come over and played it for hours, and we sat around a table developing, okay, let's play it war style. So it's like bam, 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 back and forth. The first one to get it, loses. And we played with 6 people, and every time somebody get a hook, of course somebody, partook in a shot.
Somebody gets punched. Yeah.
No, that's it. That's the thing. Some of the simplest games are the most fun and the ones that are the most popular. I feel like sometimes you have too many rules. You're only going to focus on one certain group. Now, I know there are games that you do have that are a little more intense in terms of what you have to do, but it's nice to see that you've got a multitude of content. It's not just learn all of this to play our game? Here, it's simple. Grab these cards, flip them over.
That honestly was the original idea. Let's go simple for simple's sake, and let's just see what people like. And these first 3 games that we printed and we have for sale are literally that. We've got one that 4 people can sit around, and then 2 that a couple of people can sit around and play, as friends and hopefully enemies by the end. And let's just go from there. We've learned a lot, I would say, in the last couple of years, just developing. Getting pissed and people telling us what to do has really helped.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, it's definitely getting the input from the crowd is going to be the way that you got to go. You can't just say people are going to like this and then expect them to like it. You definitely have to take that input. So
it does not work that way in the game world. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And have you found sales for this game are picking up? Like, are you finding people are interested in it, purchasing copies?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you this, and I know we didn't really talk about this, but over the last couple of years, we've made some really good friends. The one of which is a local game store here. A guy, the name of it's King's Landing Games here in Waco, Texas, home of Chip and Joanna. But
if you have links, you can put them right in chat. I have got no issues with that. Okay. You won't get any problems.
I'll post that's okay.
Yep.
Anyway, we made good friends with these guys. I've known the owner for years. Casey went to school with him, and they have been nothing but fantastic to us to bring us in and let us stream there once a week. We do it every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 Central Time, and they are expanding and expanding and expanding. And we have gotten to the point with these guys where we're gonna have a dedicated streaming room and a place we can always go and play. And it's amazing, as bad as I talk about the gaming community, it's amazing when people like you in this community. Holy crap, you get all kinds of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you
don't
have
piss
that.
them off.
Yeah, you have that fanatic group of people that just want this to succeed.
Yeah.
And they will do everything in their power to help you. The gaming community is pretty strong sometimes. It's pretty strong.
It's pretty amazing, to come into something like this and just be able to learn all the lessons we've learned for the last couple of years, whether by, screw ups or making friends.
Yep.
Some of our failures, honestly, have been our best lessons.
That's
Fitz.
always the case. Yes.
I know you probably have a question or two because we're not going to jump into the next game yet, but is there something that you want to bring up as well?
Well, something we were talking about a little before cast. Explain the name, because you said you would bring it up later, and I want to know what's with the otaku. You already explained the pawn to me, but yes, explain the Japanese influence themes going on here.
Yeah, it's OniiChan Games, OniiChanGames.com. OniiChan is, when I talked about the story that Casey and I have told each other for 30 plus years, OniiChan is the Japanese, shadowy Japanese company that basically runs everything on this island. And so, it's one of those things, we pulled it out of a hat, but we needed a dark overlord for our story, so that's OniiChan. So when we started making games, we thought, well, what better than us be the dark overlords and be able to utilize what we've already pulled out of our ass. So
I like how you think.
Do you understand why we brought them here, folks? Do you understand? There's reasons.
And it's a cute little squid or octopus.
Yeah, it's a little octopus.
Yeah, that's what happens with cute little octopuses. They're all cute and cuddly, and then when they get close to you, they devour you.
They bite you with that damn beak.
Yeah. You don't want to turn them over. That's the thing. So we like to say it's the mini arms of OniiChan. When we got into games, we threw a pawn up there just simply because it's a game thing, and hopefully to kind of sell that. And like I said, our vision for this is not just card games. It's card games, board games, video games, whatever we can get our foot in the door with. We have been wanting to do something like this for years and years and years, and the card games are just the beginning for us. They have treated us very well for the last year or so, but this is not the last time you'll hear of us putting things out. We've got a lot of stuff in the works, and you just have to start small and keep pushing.
Well, that's the one thing I wanted to touch base with when we get to the content. I was talking with Sky. This is going months back, sir, and he was talking about you guys were thinking about creating applications that go hand in hand with these card games.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure which one is involved with this, so you guys can direct that to me, but we can discuss it when we get to it.
Okay.
The one thing I do want to talk about, though, is Don't Judge Me. This seems like a game that just fits right down my alley. I'm gonna let you guys discuss it. Tell the crowd exactly what it's about, and why they will know I want to play this.
So Don't Judge Me is it's another one of those kind of party games or whatever that you can play amongst friends. We like to think that there's 4 people sitting around at a table. 2 people play at a time, and then the other 2 people are judges. Okay, I know it says don't judge me, but you end up judging people. So basically, Don't Judge Me is a pack of people and professions and things like that, like the homeless person or a teacher. There you go, both sides of the coin.
I'm just going to stop you there. It's amusing to me that Sky is there right beside you, and you said, professions: homeless person, teacher.
I will tell you this, but I've been a teacher for a while as well, and so we are often homeless.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a story of the first time we basically play tested this out in the wild. Don't judge me. What happens is I get a card, you get a card, and on these cards, as you can see here, one of them is a dog breeder, one of them is a country music singer. Okay, so I've got 3 turns, and you have 3 turns to make your person the worst person. So you want these things to kind of build on each other. I will say the first time we were at a brewery, and we were a couple of beers in, and some cougars came through the door. It was a pack of cougars.
He's not lying either. This is a true story.
This is a real deal. So, they were cougars. Yeah, absolutely cougars. They were dragging some of their stuff, but anyway. So here's what we got. One girl gets the dog breeder. One girl gets the country singer. Right, and so now they've got turns. So girl with the country singer, the first thing she says is, okay, well, I tell her, you got to make your person the worst person, and they have to build on each other. So you want to start small, and build up. She says,
I already want this game. I want this game.
Says, okay, well, the country singer, she dresses like a slut. Okay, well, that's good, lady. That's not bad. You can take your hand off my leg, but that's fine. That's a good start. You got plenty of places to go with that. Okay, great. So the next lady, and I use that word loosely because I'm sure she is, she gets the dog breeder, and the first thing she says is the dog breeder sleeps with the dogs. And my problem
that's pretty
with
gross.
Well,
yeah, she went. Yeah,
my problem with that is I say, okay, lady, I don't know that you really understand the concept here. You've pretty much used the nuclear option at this point. That should probably be your last thing.
Yeah. How do you go from I'm a slut to dog fucking? Like it's hard.
One of them's a dog breeder. The next lady, it's her turn again, and she says something like, I don't know, her feet stink or whatever it is. She says something very inane, and it's whatever, but hey, she's building and she's really trying. So the dog breeder lady. The next thing is, okay, well, lady, you've used this terrible thing where she's fucking the dogs, but it's kind of got to build. So she says, okay, well, she doesn't clean up after. All right, well, that's gross, but good for you. I think you've gone over the line there. That's great. So it's country singer's time again. Her third thing, and I'm encouraging her. You've started pretty tame here, lady, but you need to kind of build up. And I don't even remember what she said. The last thing was something like, she sleeps with everybody or something, whatever. And so. That's not really the point of the story. The the last lady,
Okay.
last lady, I'm like, okay, well, you've said she sleeps with the dogs. She doesn't clean up afterwards. I'm not sure what it is that's coming. She thinks for a second. She goes, well, the worst thing I can think of, she's a Democrat. So that's the way she ends.
Don't judge us. Don't judge us.
That is deep. But anyway, the game is very, very simple. You sit around and you make fun of people and you make fun of situations, and the other people choose, and then you rotate, and it can go on for a very long time. If you want to keep points, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. It was all about just having fun. Casey and I, for years, we would, wherever we were, we'd sit around and just look at people, kind of people watching, but ours goes a little further. It gets very dark very quickly, and we build these backstories for people, imaginary backstories, and so that's really where this came from.
It's a game that I'm really, you know what, Fitz, we have to purchase this, both of us. I think this would be a really good stream game to play. I think that we would have a lot of fun doing it.
So
I think so too. I have a lot of board games anyway, so this would just be fun overall. Yeah, just in general.
Guys.
So on the flip side is I've got I also have an 11-year-old at home that I kind of have to, be G-rated with sometimes. So on the flip side is when we play the game, of course I take out the, some of the suggestive cards. But we play who can be the best person. Use their powers for good.
The parental don't judge.
I'm already not listening.
That doesn't last very long. He wants. So then me and the wife play, and then it's way better.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a key. It's a key point though. It's for all ages. Like you can go real low blow humor, which is what I like. But you can have this game for a family too. So what's the card?
It's the 9-year-old boy. I'm just saying that's the card.
If I picked up that card, I would look at it and I just look at everybody else and say, I lose, guys. I lose. I lose. I'm not bringing anything up about this 9-year-old boy. No.
In many countries, you win.
He sleeps with dogs.
And I also want to point out too that Mike does all the art for these. So
Mike does.
Yeah, there's no outsourcing of the art or anything. I mean, it's done right here for everything. So
you guys are really a close knit group. Like this is your pride and joy.
I spend a lot of time on it, and we play test the crap out of things now. Something we didn't do at first. And again, that stream on Wednesday night, that is us just sitting around drinking beer, play testing from King's Landing, and making stuff up as we go. If the rules don't work, we throw them out the window and we try something else.
That brings up a good question.
We get a lot of input too from other players as well as other people that are there talking to us.
That's good. But being from Texas, I'm sure you've seen the Go Texan logo on many of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys apply for that? Have a game just made in Texas?
We are. We've actually talked to some folks here around town about developing some localized games, and that would be a big thing for us there to be able to grab something like that.
Yeah,
we're in the same.
That helps. Even if people don't know much about your game, people still look for that made in Texas stuff. They just
sure, absolutely. Yeah, we've got an idea that's kind of on the back burner right this minute, but if we can hook up with the folks we think we can hook up with, then we may be able to build something that is pretty interesting to Texans and people in this area.
Can I ask you just one thing though? If you're making a game about Texas,
absolutely.
Yeah, be nice to Fort Worth and screw Dallas.
Okay. I'm not a big Dallas fan anyway, so I don't have any problem with that.
So what I heard was support Dallas and screw Fort Worth.
But you guys do have a really good there's a really good gaming society in DFW area that I love to death.
Yeah, it's nice up here.
What's nice up there? Death? Is that what you said? Death is nice up there?
Pollution.
Only for a penalty. Only as a penalty.
Awful. Awful. Well, don't judge us,
Everything's
guys.
bigger in
Don't judge
Texas,
us.
including that.
Yeah, don't judge.
Are you
Guys,
apologizing for something you're not doing, Canadian? Is that what you're doing right
no,
now?
I'm overrun by Texans right now. I'm just being polite because I don't want to get shot. Hey,
Don't worry, we have the guns, remember?
guys, I'm jumping on to our next game here now. It's a good thing we're a over 18 crowd because I feel like this one is definitely not for the kiddies. I am, of course, talking about tweakers, folks. Tweakers. Right. Now, the game title alone pretty much says what it's about, but we'll let them tell us what it's about anyway, because, you know, you want to know the ins and outs, but it is definitely drug-related. Go.
It may or may not be. That's entirely up to you. But yeah, when he plays it with his kid, it's all about choo-choo trains.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Indies and
Candies and nice ladies. Okay, so Tweaker is exactly what you think it is. It is a game about building your meth lab. So there are many components to a meth lab, as you all know. A meth lab contains your equipment, your mix for your finest meth, and then of course your distribution channels. So basically, this game is played with 3 to 4 players. It is played until somebody builds their entire lab, their entire mix, and their entire crew. So part of your crew could be some guy like this, the tweaker. Some of your mix could be something like this, your sinus pills.
So you're telling me you know the recipe?
Are people taking notes?
And then some of your lab would be something, kind of like this. You want to build your lab, your mix, and your crew. Some things can happen to you along the way. You can run into something bad like a lung burn.
Oh, nobody likes a good lung burn.
Yeah, especially when it's somebody else getting it. Good things can happen to you. You can run across some dumpster diving hookers, which allow you to get extra cards and things like that. You can be
This is fantastic.
you can run into a narc, and I know you can't really see that real well. But
Oh shit!
on his shirt, it says,
This is hilarious.
Yeah, you could get that. You could run into a bad cop.
Ooh.
You look
Pay them
something
off.
like that. The worst thing though is you don't want to see this guy. You don't want the DEA showing up.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, if the DEA shows up, you have to roll over on your crew, give up your crew. Otherwise, you lose.
Wow, you have to ditch all your cards
I
if you
love
run into
it.
that.
Yeah.
I love that
this-
because you're
this-
snitching him out. You're copping a deal.
This is the game that we built in 6 days. Now, it's been refined since, I promise you.
Yeah.
But this is the game that we built in 6 days that people wanted to buy day one when we went to the show.
That's a good sign, though.
And I'm taking it's one of your higher selling games right now.
Yeah, it does okay. I don't know if we've only gotten really one bad, it's not even a review, but one bad comment. We were at that show showing off, the 4,000 cards or whatever we took, and some kid was playing it with us, and his dad comes up behind him and gets on to us because we're teaching his kid how to make meth.
Well, yeah.
See, I'm sure you guys handled it very professionally, but I'd just look at that father and say, well, everybody, this is what no sense of humor looks like. Right here. This guy right here. Everybody, I want you to see. This guy has no fucking sense of humor. Let's all mock him. Everybody mock him.
Here's the thing. I don't know if meth is made with gas, WD-40, and a measuring cup.
But you can try.
I think that's the official thing. That and Sudafed, and it's the official recipe.
We're shying away from the S word, but the sinus pills, not necessarily the brand name. Yes,
Yes,
and
that would be trouble.
to be honest with you, I don't know what this thing does, but it does something. So there you go.
Well, I feel
you know-
like people are people are just going to complain. There's always going to be somebody in the crowd that just
Like I
wants to
always
throw a
said.
fit.
Yeah, but like I said, we've gotten one bad comment.
So
I mean,
that says
you know,
so much more than anything. I mean, having one bad comment, if you've got like 50 good ones or even 25 good ones, that one bad comment just doesn't matter. But it'll always
If
be
we
imprinted
were-
on your head, right?
If we were Romans, that's the guy we throw to the lions, and we're done.
Yeah.
And you suck.
We are
All right,
And
let's
and
go.
as they're being thrown to the lions, we're teaching their children how to create math.
Yeah.
Yep.
But guys, that's fantastic. Like, I know you said earlier that you do this Wednesday night. I guess it's like a podcast kind of show where you're showing off your games. What is the draw to it? What do you find people want you to play the most? Is it the Game Tweaker? Is that the one that people keep on wanting to come back to, or are there other games in development that people are starting to?
There are other games, and the one that people keep showing up for is the one that we are kickstarting in October.
Heard it here first, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one has been in development for, it's been a year or so,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's been a while.
We started right here in this room playing it with 3x5 cards and markers, and we would just write stuff on it and play it. When it didn't work, you crumple it up and you start with a new 3x5 card. This game is called Slasher.
I've got it up on the screen right now.
Gotcha. Slasher is based on 1980s horror movies. And basically the story behind it is there are campers.
Of course.
These campers come in the range of things like cheerleader and the handyman.
Wait, that kind of looks like Monster. Put that back up there.
Hey, that does
What are you
kind
doing,
of
Mike?
look like
What are you
It
doing,
is
Mike?
me, folks. Look.
pretty good. Yeah. Hey, I will say this for you though, man. The handyman has the best abilities, so you're good.
Well, I am
So-
pretty awesome. Continue.
Here's how this game works. This is our biggest game so far, as far as the card game goes. It plays with 4 decks, so it's a big game.
Wow.
Yeah, we basically the way the game works is you start off with everybody gets a camper card, and let's say there's 4 people playing. Before anything else can happen, everybody turns their camper cards over, and one of them ends up being the slasher. Right? So the slasher, he is given a completely different deck, which is his slasher deck. And in his slasher deck, he has things he can come after the campers with, like a hatchet,
Yes.
a hook. Which,
I like this
Ooh.
game already. This game looks really good.
yeah, and then my favorite card, which gets you the most points as a slasher, is the wood chipper.
Get in there.
Little Fargo influence.
Oh my god, Fargo. Oh my god.
The campers themselves, they have location cards. So one location at a time. Somebody could be in a galley. They could be at the campfire area. Somebody could be in the cafetorium, of course. It's a multi-use. And then the campers will hold cards in their hands that are things like monster glue, because you don't want to say super. We have things like
Nice.
duct tape, of course, which always comes in handy, and butcher knife. Now, when I say that there are several items, I mean, we're talking, this is what the campers are going through, right?
But
All
those sound like a lot of things that could be in the slasher deck as well, though.
well, they
Oh.
could.
We just lost somebody.
Uh-oh, sorry.
We lost
just
everybody.
lost them. They'll be back.
Okay. But we still hear you. I
Go,
think.
go.
We
do
can
it.
still hear you. But now we see me twice.
Yeah, well,
Ah,
It's okay. Technical difficulties, folks. Let's bring them
We're
in.
knocking.
yeah,
It's
we
all
knocked.
good. It's all good.
but yeah, the things like duct tape and monster glue, which I should use on monster every now and then. I really need that. That stuff
We good?
sounds like
Just give it a second.
slasher could have
That was my
weapons.
fault. I touched something I shouldn't have touched.
It's all good. No issues.
Like that against them, if they have duct tape, how can that not be used to like line
Attention.
them up and
New
dip
rage
them
recruit
in
reporting
a
for duty,
plastic bag?
monster.
So if you see on the edge of the cards, you see the little icons there. Basically, the way this works is campers are able to combine these items and create kill items.
Okay.
So the slasher comes.
Just
and
give me
attacks
1
campers.
second, guys. I've got to switch the cameras around here. I apologize.
We can still hear
Not
you.
a problem. Not a problem. The camper comes, or the slasher comes and attacks campers if he has their location in his hand. Once they are attacked, they are able to attack back
Nice.
and build those kill items to try to make the biggest damage against the slasher.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And play just basically goes until either the slasher kills everybody or the campers either kill the slasher or are able to escape. There are some escape items that contain 5 different pieces that they have to build along the way. So there is a bit of a co-op element that goes with it. Yeah. So if you just want to go on your own and just try to kill the slasher, you can. But if you want to help with building the escape items and try to get off the camp, then you can do that as well.
This sounds like it would be very, very good. This sounds very familiar. I mean,
It's
but
a
I've
very
seen a
fun
lot
game.
of 80s
Yeah.
horror movies. So.
Well, yeah, that's the thing
But
about
that's
that
the point.
game
I mean,
is
it's
that
something familiar. Yeah.
yeah, and it feels like it's a very group-oriented game. Like there's
Yeah, it
going to
is
be
a
a lot
very
of communication
group-oriented
between each other.
When you get 4 people sitting around and playing this, and one person is going after the other people, I mean, it's not only fun, it brings people back to the table over and over. And honestly, it's our first game that I can truly say that we've play tested and we've killed ourselves over, and I am extremely proud of this game. When we get this game out, it's going to be a real accomplishment for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
and-
like how the graphics look on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
when
I
you
think
get that
it's
game, you contact us because we're going to be purchasing it. I will definitely have you guys on again, and we can go like for a whole stream of us playing it.
Yeah,
Dude, I
think
already
we
want
could-
to buy it.
It's been real fun watching people make up all these combos and try to get the silliest. That's how I play it. Is I play just to get the silliest, most out of this world, bloodbath. Basically out of all these random things.
Jeremy was
So could
Sky was a really great guy to play with because he would try to screw us as hard as possible every time we played. I think his biggest combo was something like 400 points or whatever. And so, so we had a Jeremy rule or we had to change stuff right there because he could literally just kill the slasher in a couple of moves. So, but that's what
not his
playtesting
fault.
is
He's
about.
smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's kind of what they've asked me to do. Is they've along the way, Jeremy, use your video game knowledge and game knowledge and
Just
break the rules.
Just ruin
So-
things. For
yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. And they get so pissed at me, but I'm like, oh, it's a loophole. You guys we got to know this quickly.
No, it's the way it goes.
Sky, I totally understand that. I mean, we've seen my gameplay with Dead by Daylight, and all I do in there is screw over my teammates so the killer can kill him and I can escape. So I get that. I totally understand it, and I want to play this game.
I have a question about this game.
Good game. We're very happy with it. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. If I had the butcher knife and the duct tape, could I make like a duct tape rope and swing the butcher knife around my head?
That's where a little bit of the creativity of the player comes in. If you look at our other games, like if you look at Don't Judge Me and you look at Grommets and Hooks and even Tweaker, there's a little bit of a storytelling element to them, especially Don't Judge Me. And we wanted to keep that in this game, but it can't all just be, well, let's just figure out the story. There has to be some rules. There has to be some combo action. There has to be a little bit of uneasiness in it. And but when it comes down to it, if you have a tree limb and some duct tape and a knife and you want to make a scythe out of that, great.
Yeah.
You come up with it. You tell the table about it. And if the table says, yeah, that could be done, great. That's your item.
Yeah.
A projectile weapon that I could bring back.
Got it.
That's what.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Nuclear
Hey,
bomb, that's what I'm creating.
As long as the items have the matching symbol on it, you can do anything. And I mean,
I will tell you, when we first started making the game, my favorite item was made by Casey. This item was a combo of an acoustic guitar, some kebab skewers, yeah, like the metal one, you know, some gasoline or turpentine or whatever you had that was flammable. What was it? A scarf?
Yeah.
Right. You'd have a scarf.
Oh, I'm liking this even more.
Yeah. And so you would combine all these items, and you would take the scarf, wrap it around the thing, light it. You've got the skewer. You put it in the guitar. You come back with it all kaboom style, and you just shoot it right at the slasher. And this thing was nicknamed the Willie Nelson. So that was our favorite item. But yeah, those kind of combos can be made all the time.
Yeah, and we like telling stories with them. Like we encourage
Absolutely.
the players, you know,
Absolutely.
Well, that's the draw
Like,
for
you know,
me,
there have been
like just the
players
creativeness. It's great. It's really
players
good,
were like,
guys.
you know, like,
Thank
oh,
you.
let's just duct tape the knife to a tree limb. I'm like, okay, open up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you've got a more creative mind than that. That's what you're doing. Then they just go off the chain. Like, you know, I've got tacks super glued to a chainsaw, and I'm coming down on you with the tacks flying. I mean, so people get really creative.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You've got 10 cards in your hand at any one time. So you use your 10 cards any way you want.
Yep.
Well, guys, if you are interested in this stuff, I just posted the link down below. Make sure you go and check them out. Bookmark that. You know, you can come back, especially when you know they have these other games that are in development coming out as well. But you know, don't judge me for sure. I am totally on board with that. I can be a really evil person. So that screams out to me. But you know what, the Tweaker game, that's you know what, I feel like me and Fitz have to play that one. That one has to be done. The grommets and hooks, I think that's more of like we said earlier, you know, you got your bar, you got your university, college students, or just a big gathering. As a guy that's a hermit, that just won't happen. But that does not mean that other people won't play that game, because it does have interest for a lot of people. Because, you know, the simple games, like I said before, folks, the simple games can be the most entertaining, especially when you get to make your own rules.
Yeah.
Make your own
Exactly.
rules.
We encourage that. Yeah, if anybody can send us rules, that'd be great, because we're bad at it.
Well, guys, before we kick off, I want to let chat have an opportunity to ask any questions right now. But while they're coming up with some question material, I'm going to ask a question, and it's completely not related to this.
Great.
Thanks.
I want to know,
Dating
Sky
advice.
and Mike, I want to know favorite video game of all time for you. Your favorite can be something from when you were a kid. It can be something current. I just want to know, what is your favorite game that you've played in your lifetime?
Go ahead.
Either
You
one
played
can
more
go.
than I have, and you still play.
You know me, like I've had this discussion 1,000 times. The older I get, the more story I like. Last of Us is by hands down my favorite game of all time. It's
Last
just a
of Us is-
fantastic story.
Yeah, fantastic.
acting. It is a perfect game. That's my favorite.
There is a lot to be said about a game like The Last of Us, especially
Yeah.
with all the content that's happened in our lifetime beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
There really is very few games out there that can even compete with that kind of storyline. So I
The
get
game's
that.
beautiful. I mean, it really is. The game is beautiful.
And Mike,
I'm going to go down that same line and say Burger Time. That was my favorite.
burger time. Gotta make those
the-
burgers, folks. Gotta make those
Here's
burgers.
the thing. Here's the
That was a
thing.
hot
The drama in that game, that a patty or an egg or a pickle could get you at any moment. I mean, that's unmatchable.
It's intense.
I feel-
it compares to the Last of Us. You know,
It's
the
comparable
people, you
to
know,
any other game, and I dare you to put it.
For those of you who are too young to understand Burger Time, basically it had 5 levels. I think it was 5 levels.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And you had the different condiments of a burger. So you were a little chef that had to run across the patty to have it drop down. You'd
Yep.
have the base bun, you'd have all your ingredients, and your top bun. And it was burger. Yeah, you were making burgers. And that's essentially what you would do. And you would have, what, a hot dog and bacon chasing you?
You had a hot dog, and
Salt,
you had an egg,
pepper.
and a pickle. Yeah, hot dog, egg, and pickle. But I will say this: I will say this, okay? You mentioned that you're a guy building burgers. I'd like to rebut that and tell you that was Chef Peter Pepper. That is his real name, and his weapon of choice is throwing pepper at pickles. And I don't know how you get any more dramatic than that. I mean, just the suspense, the music, the threat of the any point smothered by a pickle
in 30 seconds of gameplay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nobody wants to get that pepper in their eyes, whether you're a pickle or not.
Well, think about the egg.
Hey, Monster, can I answer one of the questions?
You can.
The boss man said, "Do you think you could capture the magic of burger time in a card game?"
That's a loaded question.
That's a very good question, the boss man.
I will say this: we have been in contact with some folks overseas, and we are pursuing some licenses of things, and that may become a thing. We'll see.
Wow, see the boss man. Funny question, real answer.
That's a good question.
Real
good
answer.
Question, actually.
I actually have a question because I didn't bring this up. You said that you are in development of apps that are going to go with the games that you have.
Yeah.
Let's discuss that before we go, because that's an important thing, I think. The apps are everywhere. People have mobile phones. It's useful.
Right. Okay, so here's another part of that. When I told you that we got into this world that we didn't understand, this game world, there are two sides to that game world. One is use an app during a game, and one is never use an app during a game. And it kind of reminds me of like the 80s movie The Warriors. They
come out and play.
Yeah, Warriors come out and play.
Clink, clink, clink.
But anyway, our first venture into an app will probably be for the board game we talked about before, Stony Point. Right. Think of Stony Point as, basically on Stony Point, you have a lighthouse that could be a DM for you at some point. So that could be your dungeon master who tells all the backstory and is able to give all the character info and things like that. We just think that kind of plays into an app or something like that, and we want to serve both sides, where one person could read the story if they wanted to, or you could just use the app, as a DM.
I gotcha. I just thought of something really cool for that. That is a really cool concept.
Yeah, we think that being able to update content all the time, so the story would never get old.
Well, that's the point of being able to keep it fresh. I mean, card games are card games, but you play them for so long and then they get stale. Well, this is definitely a way to keep that updated.
With the exception of Slasher, that will never get stale. Thank you.
Right. I'll always be willing to kill all the counselors.
I will say this, that Slasher does lend itself to some spinoffs, and we have talked about maybe have the setting in an abandoned amusement park or something like that, on down the line.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of places you can go with that.
And the other thing too with apps, now I don't know if this is something that you guys were considering, but with the apps, if you have updated files, you can have them. I don't know if they've purchased the game with the app technology. Your cards that are the base set of cards, they could print out a new set of cards for the new characters or the new weapons or something along that line.
Absolutely. Hey, and piggybacking on that, if you go onto our site, OniiChanGames.com, we have 3 different games on there. I believe it's 3 that are print and play versions right now. If anybody wants to go out there and print them out and do their thing, please do. And
let us know feedback.
Yeah, and we always take feedback. If our game sucks, tell us.
Yeah.
Because we fix our mistakes, or we try to at least. But yeah, I think any app we were to develop would be an add-on. It's not a paid thing. It's not anything like that. We're looking to just give you a better overall experience.
And until you guys start bringing in the big money, then I'm just gonna say as one adult to another, you better charge people.
Well, I didn't say I never said
that
never.
Make that money. It's nice to have a passion, but you want to have the money with the passion.
Yeah,
right?
It's the freemium model.
The freemium model.
Yeah.
No, that's great, guys. I mean, you've got a lot of content here. Let's quickly bring up all of the different games that are in play. We've got Grommets and Hooks. We have got the good old. Oh, we're not getting rid of Grommets and Hooks apparently. Don't Judge Me, which is a game that I'm probably gonna have to talk to these guys after casting, get myself a copy.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then we've got Tweakers.
Premium.
A premium. No.
Slasher.
I'm a guy
There you
that I'm
go.
a guy that'll pay for it. I'm not looking for freebies here. We got Tweaker as well, and then of course we got the good old Slasher. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming in here today. Yeah, you got some.
Can I plug one more thing real quick?
Plug. You know what? Let's have shameless promotion time, folks. We always do this on Fitz of Rage. Let's do it right now. Let's let them just.
I want to plug Sky's game. He has a game that he developed with his son, and the game is called There Be Dragons. It's a card game. It's a basic card game. One side plays as the dragon, one side plays as the kingdom, and it will be our first. Overseas print.
Okay.
We're able to print, an enormous amount of copies and get them into stores. And so if you go to our website, there is a printable version of that also. But I just want it to be known that is his game. So, if it sucks, please email him. Honestly, you could sit down with a kid or a friend or whoever. It's for all ages. And it plays in 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. It's real simple, but it kind of harkens back to maybe a Magic or something like that, where you've got currency that you have to build up, and then you get to flame the other guy and stuff like that. So
it's a real good introduction game to people that have never played card games and kind of want to understand basic components of card games. How to balance resources, how to make decisions about what you have available to you. And like I said, I'm a fantasy sci-fi guy, so I've envisioned being that knight defending the kingdom against the dragon. So my son helped me do it. He thought it was fun, and we've played it 1,000 times. He loves it, and he shows his friends, and it's
have you
cool.
played this on your Wednesday nights? Has that been a thing?
To go, like, while we're setting up or kind of getting ready, waiting for people, I typically will find somebody to play with for about 15 minutes and show them the game, kind of walk them through it. I try to always show it, as much as I can.
Because it's his.
Because it's mine, and if I lose, we're just going to keep playing until I win. So that's typically what I do. I was thinking that at me, but whatever. No, so that's just, I like to have the story in mind. So, I have flavor text.
It's a good warm-up introductory game, like you said. When we're setting up and we're trying to get people interested in playing some of those games that might take an hour, sit down and play this for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it kind of gets the juices flowing. Yeah. It's just a good game. It's very simple, but it's a little addictive, and it's good.
And Mike did all the art on it freehand, and it's kind of that old. Kind of that old 70s watercolor Lord of the Rings-ish, from the original cartoon.
The old cartoon version, yep. What was the other, The Last Unicorn, stuff like that?
Yeah.
The Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah.
So if you look at the website, you'll see the art. I mean, I love it. I think it's great.
I just dropped a little acid and went to town.
Don't do drugs.
That's right. Don't do drugs, but buy Tweaker.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming in on Fitz of Rage this week. It's been a blast. I think we're gonna have to have you guys back, say in about a 6-month period of time. I think you guys have for development, getting things going, and we'll bring you back in and see where you're at.
October would be fantastic. Like I said, we're dropping the Kickstarter on Slasher in October. If you can work us in, then that'd be great, man. We're doing kickoffs. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So it's our first big venture.
That's awesome.
Fitz, do you have anything to say? Great. Any last comments before we go to closing?
This is hearing about the resource management. Like I said earlier, that might sound lame, but that was something I loved about playing RTS games.
Yes.
online was the resource management. I didn't like the RTS games where it's like, oh, insta building. No, screw
Like
that.
you know,
I want it to take time. I want the people to collect the things. I want
yes.
that as part of the strategy. So I love that you incorporated that into a card game. I think that's
Well,
brilliant.
and to have something like that in a game that's as fast as 20 minutes is also a real challenge. Yeah,
How do you squeeze that in and make it that quick, like you said? But if it works, that's absolutely brilliant. It sounds like it does. So
it works.
Excited about that game. I'm excited about, of course, the Don't Judge Me slasher is going to be fun as hell. But also, I haven't heard about these guys at all before this cast, and that I feel like shit because of that, because these games sound like a blast, and it's going to be a total fun. And aside from all that, our fellow Texans, so why not, right? But dude, this is awesome. I'm definitely going to be buying at least 3 of your games.
That's what it's all about. It's like getting that promotion out, You're just going on multiple casts. I know I'm not the only one that you guys have jumped on, so this is definitely the right move for you guys. And we will have this up on YouTube for the world to see. You'll have the link. I believe we'll have it up by Friday, and you'll have all the information for you, and you can share to the world.
It's great, man. Thank you so much. It really has been a pleasure meeting both of you guys. I appreciate it.
No, it's our pleasure. Fantastic cast. This is by far one of our best because of having the guests that we have.
Is that a Jason shirt? Do you have a Jason shirt on?
I'll make you happy but sad at the same time. There you go.
Oh, Fur Day the 13th. That's okay.
So we are going to close up here, folks. I will say quickly, thanks again, guys. It was great having you here, and we will have you here October. We'll make a note of it. We'll have them back. We'll see how Slasher's doing. They might even have other things going on, things that are going to surprise us. But guys, we are going to say our goodbyes now to the two of them. Any last words?
Hail Satan.
Works for me.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
All right, so Fitz, let me say that was quite nice, eh? Quite nice to have the two of them on today.
Yes, it was.
Good old Canadian sticking out, folks. I want to thank everybody coming in to chat, sticking around, seeing the good old podcast that's happening today. We will be going back to regular schedule next week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. But today was a special event. I wanted to get OniiChan. See, these guys are looking at me right now in this camera right now going, what the fuck, monster? What the fuck? It is OniiChan Games.
Okay.
OniiChan. That devil.
We got the link, and we've plugged it plenty of times. It was on the screen the whole cast. Go to it. It was in chat. I'll put it in the description for the YouTube video. It'll be down below. So even though Monster can't say it, there will be correct links to get there. Maybe they'll put a phonetic spelling on their website between now and then.
I feel like I'm going to get blasted after cast, folks. I'm going to get blasted. It's going to happen. But guys, thanks for coming in. It was great. Sky, Mike, I appreciate your time with us. But we are going to close up for now, and we'll be back next week. Fitz, say bye. He's not saying anything.
He muted me? Did you mute me, you bastard?